once again, folks, and welcome back to LC's Coaches Show. I am Brad Wilburn, glad to be with you here for Wildcat Media Sports. And as you might have guessed, we are joined once again by our very own head coach, Dennis Dunn. And we're going to talk about the homecoming game last week against ETBU, look ahead to what's coming up against McMurry, and maybe a little bit about Mary Hardin Baylor. But first, Coach, I consider myself a little bit of a wordsmith. I write stories and articles and all kind of stuff all the time, and I think I may have summed it up best after the game with the simple phrase of, "Wow." We're not going to forget this game anytime soon for a lot of reasons. Homecoming, senior night, rivalry game, all these sort of things. It just didn't quite finish how we may have exactly wanted it to, but it was an incredible game to be a part of, even if we didn't come out with the victory.
Brad, what a great crowd! The electricity was in the air, the enthusiasm on both sides. It was a great game to be a part of, unless you were coaching in it. That was, I tell you, I think I aged about 20 years in one night. Just a tremendous weekend all around, with the exception of the outcome of the game. And it was unfortunate that anyone had to lose that game, because both teams just truly played their hearts out. In a rivalry game, that's what you would expect. And the rivalry has intensified over the last couple of years, and rightly so. ETBU is a much better program than they had been for several years. And credit their administration, their coaching staff for putting together a quality program. They got good kids in the program, kids who are making plays, and it just that game boiled down to whoever had the ball last, and unfortunately they had the ball last and were able to finish it. But man, I told the guys after the game, man, it's just so difficult. And I've been doing this a long time, Brad. I've been doing it 32 years, and very seldom do I find myself at a loss for words. But I'm still at a loss for words because of the effort of our young men. Yeah. And all I could say was I could not be more proud of a group than I am of you guys, and the effort that you put forth for 60 minutes. And I still feel the same after 48 hours. I still feel that I don't know what else they could have done as players to put themselves in position to win. And our staff was talking this morning. It's all ifs and buts, but we're 3 plays away probably from being 7-1, and maybe 5 total plays away from being 8-0. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's not where we are, and we've got to find a way as a staff and a team to finish 2016 well. Our seniors deserve that. They have put so much into this. They have sacrificed so much to be a part, and our players, our seniors, will get our best effort as a coaching staff, and I know that the underclassmen will give their best effort to help these seniors finish 2016 very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very special night. Started with the senior presentation beforehand with the 15 players and the 2 coaches being honored there before the game. And then once the game started, we're down 16-0. It seemed like right out of the gate. They get a touchdown, they get a pick 6, but like you said, you couldn't be more proud of them. They fought back and made some defensive stops. 21 unanswered points there to take the lead, and it just went back and forth after that point.
Yeah, it did, and the pick 6 early in the game. Easton threw the ball 50 times and probably had 3 errant throws out of 50 attempts, and one of those was in the second possession there, because the concept that we ran was wide open. If it's not an errant ball, it's not an interception, it's a touchdown going the other way. But on the other hand, the guy has a record-breaking night, throws 7 touchdown passes, and you win the game. Nobody's talking about that one throw. Yeah. It's just one of those kinds of games where all the plays are big, they just made one more than we did.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately for us, it's another year without the claw, but certainly not much consolation for our seniors, but the legacy of what they did to put us, you know, in a lot of games last year in 2015, we might not have played for 60 minutes, but I can't think of a game this year where our guys have not given 60 minutes of effort, and I know that that will translate and build on our future, and our young guys see how these seniors have put them in position to be a great football team. Mm-hmm. 3 of those losses were to nationally ranked teams, and I still would say that we're one of the top 25 teams in the nation because of how we played in those games. The record may not speak to it. We're not there in the numerical lineup, but our guys know in their hearts that we can compete with anybody in the country, and I think we'll continue to prove that over the next couple of weeks.
You mentioned it there, and I can't not bring it up. Easton, he's had a stellar career ever since he came on here 4 years ago. But like you said, maybe a little bit of a silver lining, if you want to look at it that way. 7 touchdown passes, breaking Ben's record for touchdown passes in a game, and on top of that, Shed also setting the single game receiving touchdown record with 4. So that's, I mean, at least something that you can say we did that for sure.
Well, I don't think either one of those guys are enjoying that stat right now. They would have sacrificed those statistics individually for a team W. And I think all of our young men feel that way. You know, as good as they played, you go back and look at the film, our offensive line just was tremendous. And they've been that way all year. And our offensive line, I poked my head in an offensive line meeting today and just bragged on them about how well, may have played their best game of the year the other night, but they would have traded playing their best game of the year, maybe with a few slip-ups and taking the W instead. Right. So not a whole lot of consolation. You know, there in this game, unfortunately, there are no moral victories. The fact is, it's an L in the column, and you know what you do as a coaching staff and as a program, you go and you build upon the positives, and then you figure out how to learn from the challenges that present themselves along the way. And I think as a program that we're going to continue to do that. We've got mature guys who I don't think there's anybody in our program that will take a negative approach. I think they will all take a positive approach. I believe that. I believe in their character and their integrity, and this is a football team that I'm proud of. I am. I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed for them that we're not sitting here 7-1, 8-0, and in the playoff consideration. That's what I'm disappointed about for them. And that hurts, because this is a football team that's certainly deserving of a postseason opportunity. It's just unfortunate that this has been a season where some of those breaks have not gone our way, that unfortunately have gone the other way. You go back and you look at 2012, our playoff year. I mean, we had a lot of things happen for us. We 3 or 4 of those games were one play, and they were victories, and they could have been could have gone the other way. So seasons are like that. When teams are evenly matched, we know that anything can happen. Any team's capable of victory. That's the way our conference is. When you think about how tough our conference is at this point, 3 nationally ranked teams in our conference. Every program has gotten better, and again, I'll say it. I'll keep saying it. Though they're improving their programs, and the commitment from the top down administratively to making sure that athletic programs are benefiting through facility improvement. All those things go into building a top program, and I think our administration is a place where they certainly support us and are doing everything that they can to get us in position to be competitive as it relates to that, because that impacts recruiting and all those things that go into winning football games.
All right, well, let's do as we do and move on to the next week. Unfortunately, we are done playing at Wildcat Field this year, but we have 2 more games left at McMurry this week, and then on the road at Mary Hardin-Baylor to close out the season. And talking a little bit about the Warhawks, when you look at them, at least on paper, their offensive numbers aren't going to jump out at you and just like. Certainly when you look at like ETBU's numbers, for instance, but they do have some guys that are playmakers and can make some big plays. And so what kind of we are expecting from them?
Brad, this is another football team that's very capable on any given Saturday of being a team that can win. And you know, I've told you several times this year. I mean, the worst team and the worst record in the conference is a team that on any given Saturday can beat anybody. And I'll say that again about McMurray. Their record may not show it, but I think McMurray's defense may be one of the top defenses in the conference. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have to play offensively as good as we've played in order to make plays. You know, they've got a few leftovers from some scholarship guys when they were Division II, and I think this will be the last year of those guys who were scholarship players, but they're still playing with a few of those guys, and they're good. It shows. I mean, they've got their secondary will be as good as we played against, including we thought Sol Ross's secondary was probably the best we faced this year. This is as good a secondary as we'll see, and so it's their home game. It'll be a senior day for their guys, and they will play with a lot of emotion coming off a big win last week. So we know that it'll be a battle, and I just, you know, I know that our guys are resilient, and they will bounce back, and they will go into this contest mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to play a tough ball game on Saturday.
And you mentioned their secondary. I mean, with the talent they have there matched up, I mean, we've seen the talent we have on our offensive receivers. I mean, do you feel like that's going to be the matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of one-on-one matchups, and we're going to have to win those one-on-one battles. And that's what we've said all year. When a team chooses to play man-to-man coverage, which we think we'll see a lot of on Saturday, it's just who's going to man up and be a man. And you know, it just comes down to making plays, and we've got to have guys who step up and in one-on-one situations, and when we have opportunities, we've got to make those plays. And we will have to, you know, take advantage of every one of our possessions, because there'll be a team that'll try to control the football. They're not going to be up-tempo like ETBU was, where they could, you know, run a play every 9 seconds. They're going to be a team that will try to limit our possessions. So, you know, if we get 12 possessions, we're going to have to make the most of those possessions. And again, that's moving the chains, getting ourselves in manageable, down and distant situations, and make plays when we have the opportunity to make plays.
Well, when you got a guy like number 3 out there, I mean, you got to feel pretty good most of the time, right?
He's phenomenal. Yeah. But, you know, the great thing about Shedrick Davis is he is one of the most unselfish, and he's a practice player. I mean, this guy is as hard a working guy in practice as anybody we've got on the team, and our guys would agree with that. I mean, this guy works his tail off in practice, and he's fun to watch in practice. He's as fun to watch in practice as he is in a game, because what you see on Saturday nights is what he does, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, and through the week. He's just a great practice player, and he's a talent. But I think that's what's going to give him an opportunity at some point to possibly play on the next level.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Final thoughts here. I mean, after ETBU, like we talked about, tough loss, but we move forward and going on the road. Wrapping up final 2 games. I mean, just what is your overall message for the team in these last 2 weeks?
Well, again, I want to credit the opponent. I mean, ETBU. There's a lot of energy in that program, and they've done a tremendous job. That Scotty Walden, you know, in the season, he's been there a couple of 3 years now as the offensive coordinator, and that offense plays with a lot of confidence, and it's a lot of a tribute goes to him and he's a high energy guy and you know, has just done a quality job. But, you know, to answer your question, life is all about how you finish, and we will talk about life, you know, in life, and that's what I love so much about coaching, Brad, is that, you know, in coaching there are so many variables that would happen in any given season that can mirror what can happen in life.
Yeah.
So many ups and downs and opportunities to quit, and then if you find some way to just pull up your bootstraps and step into the next day, and the only time failure is final is if you quit.
Yeah.
And there's not any quit in our guys, and I think the people who have watched us, and I just want to say thank you to our fans who have been so supportive. And the other night was just, I mean, it was electric, and our crowd was in it, and it was so important to our guys and how they played for 60 minutes. But I would say that these guys don't have any quit in them. And I would say to them, man, you got an opportunity. And that's what's great about this game is there's always the next week. There's always a new season. There's always opportunity to put last week behind you, and let's build upon it no matter what happened. Yeah. And we hope we're teaching young men how to do that in life, that when their marriage gets tough and the easy thing to do would be quit, no, you fight through, because this is bigger than what you're feeling on a certain day.
Right.
And when that job gets tough, you know, when it'd be the easy thing would be to not to go to work. No, you get up and you go to work no matter how you're feeling, and you push through and you win the day. And that's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about winning the day. And if you win a day, then you have an opportunity to win in life. And it's about taking care of the next day, and the games will take care of themselves. The wins and losses in life will take care of themselves. If you have a positive attitude and you continue to have positive energy in everything that you do, there will be a lot more wins in life than there are losses, and that's what we'll take from this, Brad.
That's why he's one of the best in the biz, folks, right there. All right, well, thanks so much for watching once again this week. We'll have information, stats, and live stats and video for the game against McMurray. And nothing else, listen on the radio, 104.3 The Bridge. We'll be live there on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock as the Wildcats take on the McMurray Warhawks, so don't miss it, right? For Coach Dunn, I am Brad Welburn, Wildcat Media Sports. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
God bless.